I'm just. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm really excited. It's going to be
Yeah,
fun.
me too.
Going to be fun. Okay. Are you ready? Yes?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Farzana Muhammad, and welcome to Insights with me, Farzana, Uncut Conversations That Matter. This podcast is where I sit down for real, unfiltered conversations on life, business, wellness, and the decisions that quietly shape who we are. Let me start with a very, very simple question. If you were connected than ever, why do so many people feel disconnected? Today, we are going to talk about something powerful, why real human connection is still a superpower. And instead of discussing this from an adult's perspective, I wanted to hear it from someone who is experiencing this world in a real time. So I am today joined by a 16-year-old. I think that's his age. Ask him whether he's 16 or 15. Let's understand what connection really means today from him. And if you enjoy such conversations like this, real, honest, and thought provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so many people can be part of it. Okay, so let me welcome my guest, Ishan. I'm really, really glad that you're here. How are you?
Thank you. I'm pretty good. Thank you for inviting me.
Uh,
And
I,
thank you for giving this stage.
it's an absolute pleasure. Actually, when we were chatting and you came up with this topic, and I'm like, this would be a brilliant topic for any teenager, any young adult who will watch you talking about what the topic is today, right? So first clarify, you are 16, 15, 17. How old are you?
No, I'm 18 years old.
Oh, you're 18 years
Turned,
old.
yeah, and turned to be 19 in few days.
Okay, tell us a little bit about you. Just a very brief on what are you doing, who are you, and what is your aspiration?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Ahsan Akbar, and I'm currently studying AI and autonomous systems from Murdoch University, Dubai, and I'm here in Dubai. Over the past few years, I have been involved in robotics education, AI systems, community projects, and exploring how technology move beyond the ideas and into in real world implementations. I'm especially interested in intersection of in AI, autonomous systems, and infrastructures, and as policies, how the policies can come into being with a reference of these technologies, and likely to be in very interested in aerospace and intelligence systems. Along my studies, I also enjoy by connecting people from
Mhm,
different industries, learning from their journeys, and building projects. And
mhm.
by taking their ideas and came into being, that how those ideas can be implemented in my life. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you are into AI yourself, and this is what exactly we are going to be talking about, right? Making connections. So, let's start something very simple. At your age, now you just told me you're 18 plus. What does connection actually means to you?
Um, for me, connection means being able to learn, to
Mhm,
grow,
mhm.
and to think openly with the people, with your surroundings.
Okay.
A real connection is not only by taking every day you met the people,
Mm.
it's when the conversation leave an impact on you and how the world is going on. As someone studying AI and autonomous systems and meeting people very passionately
Mhm.
from very different industries, I have realized connections is more about depth and quality, not the quantity. Yeah. So one meaningful conversation can change your perspective, can change your life, and can change your life decisions around that. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. I think your perspective is a little different from many adults whom I have been meeting around. So that's very interesting to know. Okay, so do you think it's easy or is it difficult for young people like yourself today to make real friends? How do you see it?
I think it's easier to meet people today, but
Hmm.
it's harder to get the real friendship around that.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know about the social medias and all of the platforms, it
Hmm.
give you real time access to connect with the people.
Okay.
It give you the real time to understand their perspective, to understand their post, to understand their ideas.
Hmm.
But in the real trust and consistency, it's understanding still takes time, and that's how it leverage people
Hmm.
to understand their ideas, to implement their ideas in their life. And a lot of people know each other digitally, right?
Digitally.
But
Okay.
a very few of them know physically.
Hmm.
Your existence is being able to see people in digital form, but your existence is not able to see in the physical form. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's easier to make the connections in across the
Online.
platforms. Yeah, across the platforms, but it's more harder to make in personal relationships. Yeah,
Okay, so that's a very honest answer from you. I think you're very spot on when you're saying people are connected digitally, but in person, in order
yeah,
to grow that relationship, it is, I guess that's what you're trying to say, that it's
yeah.
missing right now.
Yeah, I just remember one of the quote of a person saying, "Greater connectivity does not mean a greater connection."
Yes,
It was this, yeah. So
very well
I
said.
quote this. I was reading a Brown University lecturer, and he said about that the greater connectivity, like the greater connection, does not mean the greater connectivity. How many people you are connected is not really meaningful, but the
Exactly.
meaningful is how you are really being interconnected with them and how you can implement their ideas, their perspective into your life. Yeah,
Into your life or vice versa.
yeah.
Correct. So, what's the difference, I would say, between someone you just know and someone you actually feel connected to? Do you see any difference? Because the reason I'm asking is in our generation, we really used to meet up. We used to hang out in each other's homes or maybe in schools, in colleges. Tell me what you guys are doing nowadays and how do you see the connectivity happening?
So before giving this answer, I just want to let you know that I am a Gen Z, right?
Yes.
So the Gen Z and Gen Alpha are the more advanced people, and they're more likely to meet each other
Oh,
in parties, yeah, in parties, in
hmm,
friendship birthdays, and in malls, and do a lot of things together, yeah. But
okay.
someone you know
Mm-hmm.
might your name or your profile or what you do. It's
Mm,
just simple, like how
hello.
you connected to them, right? But
Yes.
someone you truly connected with is how you think,
Mm,
how you drive, and what kind of future you want is the real connection, which is beyond of that. And
mm.
with that real connection, that conversation feels more natural, and that conversation takes you around the globe, and it gives you a lot of ideas.
Okay, so this is an eye opener for me. That's a very real way to look at it, I guess. Okay, so what we parents or my age or us have been thinking that you guys don't meet enough to understand each other, but you are saying no, we do meet up at different places. It might not be homes, but in maybe party places or gyms or places.
Yeah,
Am I understanding it right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what you're saying. Okay, it's good to know. Okay, so have you ever had a conversation with someone that really stayed with you or changed the way you think? Because
Yes,
when we just you just gave me some idea. No, we do meet
yeah,
up, and
yeah.
I don't know when you're meeting at a gym. It's very short conversation. At the party, it's a shorter conversation. So tell me, how do you meet people, and whose conversation really helped you bring
Okay,
people?
so I love to connect people on social media platforms and all that. So yeah, it's actually helped me to move around my journey. Some of the conversation which I had with the professionals of AI, space policies, and the developmental side, I love to hear their ideas,
Mm,
and really changed my mindset. One thing that stayed with me is in realization of an ideas that
mm,
everybody has their different limitations of thinking, and
okay.
but the execution and the consistencies are the same. We
Mm-hmm.
all think around the one globe, but
Mm,
there are few points. There are few interconnected points which our ideas are connected to others' ideas. And that's how you just need to find those interconnected points, and that's you can connect with those person. I was connecting with one of the professor who is in France,
okay.
and he is studying in the AI and space policies.
Mm-hmm.
From the initial of my career aspirations was like
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be an aerospace engineer.
Okay.
um, by studying and by getting the information only for the aerospace programs, I
Mm,
was knowing, oh, okay, aerospace is doing this, aerospace is more about this and this and that.
mm,
But when I talked to him, he is actually the professor in Germany,
okay.
like in Germany and in France he's working, and he told me about the policies, and
Mm,
that's how it shifted my mind. Oh, that's not only the limited to the technology, that's too limited to the policies too. And
mm.
that's how I been to study the policies and how this policy works and how this human interaction can come into the policies and those like interconnected fields across this. Yeah,
Okay, that's amazing because I would say it was a simple conversation, but it stayed with you and it gave you a
yeah,
perspective and a direction,
yeah.
which is amazing. But do you see the same thing? Like I can see that you are one person who really likes to connect. But what about your peers? What are they doing today? Are they are they like you, very open to anything coming their way, or do you see something different from your?
That's actually the good question, because we know more about our age. We know more about the friend circle we do have, the circle we do exist in that. But what I think is many people do resist themselves.
Okay.
A lot of young people are thinking deeply and struggling, and for ambitious
Mm,
in ways, but they don't see.
mm,
But they are afraid of judgment and misunderstandings. So
mm,
these are the two of the common problems which, when they see this around, they
mm.
don't go overcome. They do resist themselves, and they do them in the back of the position. But sometimes people only show the polished version of themselves
Mm.
online, while the real connection happens in the privately, that how you can contribute your existence in that system. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. This is very insightful because what we are like as adults, as parents, as teachers, and boomers, we find that your age group sometimes I won't call them rigid, but
Yeah.
they are only focused on what they want to do. They do
Yeah.
not want to change anything around them. So when I'm talking to you, I feel that you're one of those person who has not only kept one thing inside. You are also checking on what's coming your way, what could be another way to reach your goal. It doesn't have to be a straightforward direction. So,
Because you should be having a multiple path, and each path will give you the different directions, will give you the different ways of thinking. Because once you are thinking in a single way,
mm,
that will only give you the direction of being able to put your shoes, put your legs in one of the shoe. But you should be able to put your shoe, but you should be able to put your leg in multiple shoes, so that you can understand how the mentality works, and how the neurons are connected to your minds, and how those are
how
connected
you
to
use
someone
them
else, and
in
how you can,
different ways.
yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. That's I think that's a very good advice. Whoever is watching this podcast with you, Essen, I think this was one of the very important reasons I wanted you to jump on my podcast and start talking about these things because there are challenges. Challenges will be everywhere. This era is coming up with AI challenge, which Most probably, yes and no. A lot of people will be able to overcome. But again, to keep the perspectives, to keep different open, be not to focus on only one thing what they want. I think that's a very good advice you've just said. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's talk about your experience every day. Do you think the social media helps people connect or make it harder? Tell me about your experience first thing. Let's talk about you. What is
Okay.
your experience?
My experience is being connected through the social media,
Mhm.
but it's very limited. It acts as a both. It should be and it shouldn't be. So
Mm.
there's the answer of it should be and shouldn't be, because social media helped me to connect personally with the global leaders around the world.
It's
Yeah,
great for you.
researchers, founders, mentors,
Right.
and professionals. But
Mm.
I would probably never meet like otherwise in the physical. If the social
Mm.
media's existence was not there, I wouldn't meet their through their ideas and through their
Like your
exchanging of
French,
their.
the German professor you met.
Yeah. So this is the thing of the social media gives you. Oh, go ahead, connect with the people and bridge your connections around the world. But at
Mm.
the same time, it can create a shallow interactions,
Yeah.
where people is lost, and people do have a lot of connections. They are visible, but they are not truly connected with them. Just like we said earlier, like if I know you, I know your name, what you
Mm.
are working, and
Mm.
what you really wanted to do. But
Mm.
what's the real connection means, what the real truly connection means
Mm.
is what your career aspirations are, how
Mm.
you can define your career aspirations,
Mm.
what impact you can come and bring to the system, and how you can create the change, and how we can collaborate, and how we can create together as to be change in this world. Yeah.
Hmm. So, you also feel that people are more real. Uh, do you feel some people are more real online or more real in person? That's what you're
Yeah,
trying to
in
say,
real person.
right?
Yeah,
Real person. But
people are.
you said something really interesting that you are able to connect to people, of course, globally. In your experience, and you just mentioned as well that the relationship is very, very superficial. How do Ahsan keeps that relationship
For
ongoing?
me, not just by giving them things, like I did. For example, I met the researcher. I was not only giving him, oh, I
Hmm.
did this research, I did this research, I did this research. No,
Hmm.
that is not the only way to connect,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
The way you can create the impact, and the way you can create like put those connections in the real life,
Hmm.
is if you find something
Hmm.
around you
Hmm.
that is fascinating, that is you can create the impact. Now think of that person, like how you can go with that person's
Hmm.
feel, and your field should be creating an impact. Like
Correct.
whatever the problem I am thinking, I should be first thinking of that person.
Hmm.
That's the true connection is,
Hmm.
that's the real life connection is.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you get the problem, in your mind,
Hmm.
what's your first name is your truly connection.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Very well said. So, okay, fine. So, how do you decide whom to trust? Right? Because I mean, you could have made those whatever you just said. I helped him with the research and I did this. Could that have been a possibility that he will just put his name in the research and move it forward, right? How do you
That's
trust?
the life experience. That's the life experience.
That's very true. Okay.
If
Uh,
you will be getting all fingers, if you're getting all the fingers equal, you'll be not be getting the bad experiences. But those are not the bad experiences. Those are the learnings which you will be getting along the life, and that
so
will help you to grow more and make it more independent in a way.
very well said. Because I think this is what nowadays the teenagers and the young adults are talking about, and I've heard many of them saying, "Oh, when we do this, he ghost me, or that person ghost me because they think that I need them." It's actually they're trying to build a connection. So you're very right. Some people will have those experiences, but continue to make relationship. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, that's the most important.
Okay. Um, do you think some people influence you? We're talking about Ahsan, without even you realizing it.
The answer I should be given as an absolutely.
And why do you say that? Does it hurt you when in the end you figured out, oh dear, I shouldn't have? What do you feel after you know that it was a wrong? I shouldn't have get influenced. I should have thought about it. Has it happened
First,
to
I
you
would
at
like
all?
to give you the answer and then the short story about that. The people you listen to every day,
Hmm.
the content you read every day, the environment you exist in every day,
Hmm.
it influence you. And it actually happens to me also.
Hmm.
Back in my country, I wasn't thinking about the Western culture. I
Hmm.
wasn't thinking about the Eastern culture. I wasn't thinking about the cultures around the globe. But I got a chance to
Hmm.
participate in one of the international camp. I
Hmm.
was there. When I was there, I was able to see the
Hmm.
Eastern, the Western, the
Hmm.
Northern,
Hmm.
every culture is being in one place.
Hmm.
50 participants from
Hmm.
around the globe.
Hmm.
They are one place. They are coming in the one place. You
Okay.
don't know their ideas. You don't know their personality.
Hmm.
They belong to America. They belong to Canada. They belong to each part of the world. And
Hmm.
now you need to come together. You need to
Right.
sit together. You need
Hmm.
to talk about those real life problems.
Okay.
For me, back in my country, those problems are like the usual problems. But for the
Hmm.
other countries, those problems are not the usual problems. Those problems are bigger than that. So that's how it influences me. Yeah, in that way.
Okay. Okay. That's very subtle. The way you have explained it, it's very subtle. But okay. So let me ask you something. Um, what is one thing our generation, that is adults, misunderstand about you people, your generation, your age?
There are many things. They're
Yeah.
not the few
I would
things.
love to know all of them. Please.
Oh my god. Okay. So many adults assume that like the young people distracted or
Hmm.
unserious because of the social media or
Correct.
trends, you know.
Correct. Correct.
But honestly, most people my age are thinking about the huge things, how they can create, build, and how they can create a systematic, not the human dependent. Technologies. If you go through the line of varies of the fields from
Hmm.
technology to careers,
Hmm.
your identity really change across those fields.
Hmm.
um, there are the financial pressures,
Hmm.
there are the global change,
Hmm.
and there are also few of the trends. I would like to take the trends of the social media,
Hmm.
and building the future in a very competitive world. You know,
Yeah.
the youth are nowadays. The youth are seeing, oh, I'm doing the podcast. This
Hmm.
me. This
Hmm.
is reaching to the thousands of the young people, right?
Yes.
They are getting this podcast
Hmm.
now. What the spark is, oh, I'm 18 years old and
Hmm.
he's doing the podcast.
Hmm.
Why I can't do? I'm also 18 years old. Why I can't do this? Why I can't do this? So that's the spark in the youth what I feel is having.
Hmm.
But the generation is exposed more in information,
Hmm. Hmm.
like the pressure of earlier and even before, right?
Hmm.
A lot of youth around the people are trying to figure out who they really are and what they are trying to build. They
Hmm.
have a lot of ideas, but they
Hmm.
just need a direction. They need a truly mentor. They need a guider who can guide along the ways,
Hmm.
and that's how they can succeed, and that's how they can make their path, and they can make their journey more stronger. Yeah.
Very nice. That's so powerful. I think many people need to hear what you just said, especially the parents and the generation who still thinks that your age group, your generation, Gen Z, and
And
beyond,
Gen Alpha.
and Gen Alpha, and I don't know what else. But you guys are very creative, and I totally give it to you because what I see the change in today's even social media, there's so many new things coming up. It's all done. Most of it is done by young generation like
Yeah.
yourself, and I also assume that you also into making apps and you also do those things,
Yeah.
right? So which is this is what I agree and I understand what you're trying to say here, and that is one positive thing which I feel our generation is missing out for sure. um, but you just talked about being creative, right?
Yeah.
But we also see that using the social media, of course, creativity is now everything online. You have to be on social media. uh, have you seen the negative impact of social
Yeah.
media as well? Because all the youths are not like you. So I would like you to give a little something to everyone you are talking to right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are negative impacts, both in a positive and a negative impacts. When you talk about the negative impacts,
Mm,
the youth are more likely when you use your mobile phone, it
mm,
gives you an instant of what you are talking. If
mm,
we are doing the podcast, it will blink on my mobile and it will give me all the things related to the podcast. The mobile is trained like to trap your algorithm, to trap your mind thinking, and it gives you in that way. you
mm,
know that is a negative impact, and that's how the youth is connected. Because if I'm feeling very, very, very low today, I'm
mm.
going to scroll the social media, and that's how I'm getting, oh, this world is not this world is not this, and I'm getting into that, I'm getting into that. There will be a time I'll be exhausted of that, and I'll be doing something which I don't have to do at that time.
Mm.
So
Right.
this is very, very negative impact of how you use your social media, and how you can take your personality, your identity, because your identity is not being physically is everything around that. Your
Right.
identity should be protected around the media too,
Mm,
because that's how nowadays the people are giving you a chance. The people are getting your personality, getting your thinking about that.
right.
If you are too open in physical but you are not open in social media,
Mm,
that's mean that you are not connected to the people. That's
mm,
mean your circle is very small. But the same goes with an opposite direction. But if you are very open to the private, like the social media, but you are not open to the physical,
mm.
they will feel like, oh, everything is being an AI,
Yes.
everything is being controlled by an AI. So
Mm.
that's mean that everything should be in balance about that. Yeah.
Very, very, very well said. I think that's very powerful, and I think many people need to hear this because where there are negative impacts, a lot of people talk about negativity, but there are so many things that is positive about AI as well. And a person like you, listening to you, one thing I feel it's very, very clear that connection is not about how many people you know; it's about how you feel around the people you choose, whether it's social media, whether it's in person. And maybe that's something all of us at any age needs to relearn.
Yeah.
Right? So, but
Yeah.
here's where the conversation gets even more interesting because if connection shapes how you think, then what happens when technology starts shaping how you think?
Yeah.
In the next episode, we are going to talk about AI, something young people are already using every day. And we did talk about it today, but it will be in more depth and what Essen thinks about AI. But we are not going to be questioning. We don't question these things. So, are we using AI or AI is slowing us down? We are going to talk about that. That's what we will explore next week. Essen, for now, I think we will let our audience think what you talked about, how to make the connection, how to build that connection, how to stay in that connection, and whether they're using social media the way they should be using,
Yeah.
or they can improvise on becoming more creative than making the social media as a bad habit. Okay, and thank you once again. Before we
Thank you for giving this stage.
this is wonderful. I had a lovely. I enjoyed your conversation a lot. Okay, and what we're going to do is, if this made you think, the audience, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay connected, because these conversations that truly matters. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.